The 2022 Winter Games will mark Beijing as a city that has hosted both a Summer Games and a Winter Games. While that is certainly an honor, it is also a difficult task. So how do you evaluate Beijing's preparation work so far?
Beijing is making the best out of this because there the organizing committee is using the great legacy of the Olympic Games Beijing 2008 for the Olympic Winter Games Beijing 2022. There the ice cube, as it will be called by then, and many other of the venues for 2008 will be used in a very different context. And this is a great approach and is a great symbol of Olympic legacy. You also have many of the people having been involved in 2008 will be involved in the organization of 2022, benefiting from their experience. And to add to this, then it's not only about legacy and looking back at 2008, there is also many efforts being undertaken which are showing to the future of the Olympic Games, in particular with regard to the sustainable organization of the Games.
Mm-hmm. And also you mentioned Beijing 2022 will set a new benchmark for a sustainable Olympic Games. What do you mean by sustainable? Can you explain more on that?
Sustainable means that also future generations will greatly benefit from the organization of these games in many different respects. You see, for instance, the transformation of Shugang there on the occasion of these games. The transformation from an ancient steel mill to a neighborhood from which many Chinese people can benefit for leisure, for information, for sport, for housing, you name it. It's a wonderful example. You have other efforts where then the maintenance of the venues, for instance, is up to much higher standards than to the ones being used now by having, for instance, natural CO2 refrigeration, which is a new technology being used for these kind of sports venues, and so many examples more. So it's in fact using the legacy of Beijing 2008 and leading it into the future.